Foundation for National Board Certification for Teachers. 5 core propositions. The National Board Framework for Accomplished Teaching was established in its 1989 publication, What Teachers Should Know and Be Able to Do. The 5 core propositions serve as the foundation for all national board standards and assessments, defining the levels of knowledge, skills, abilities, and commitments that accomplished teachers demonstrate. Teachers embody all 5 core propositions in their practices, drawing on various combinations of these skills, applications, and dispositions to promote student learning. 1. Teachers are committed to students and their learning. Accomplished teachers base their practice on the fundamental belief that all students can learn and meet high expectations. They treat students equitably, recognizing the individual differences that distinguish one student from another and taking account of these differences in their practice. They adjust their practice based on observation and understanding of their students' interests, abilities, skills, knowledge, language, family circumstances, and peer relationships. They view students' varied backgrounds as diversity that enriches the learning environment for every student. Accomplished teachers understand how students develop and learn. They consult and incorporate a variety of learning and developmental theories into their practice while remaining attuned to their students' individual contexts, cultures, abilities, and circumstances. They are committed to students' cognitive development as well as to students' ownership of their learning. Equally important, they foster students' self-esteem, motivation, character, perseverance, civic responsibility, intellectual risk-taking, and respect for others. 2. Teachers know the subjects they teach and how to teach those subjects to students. Accomplished teachers have a rich understanding of the subjects they teach and appreciate how knowledge in their subject is created, organized, linked to other disciplines, and applied to real-world settings. While maintaining the integrity of disciplinary methods, content, and structures of organization, accomplished teachers develop the critical and analytical capacities of their students so they can think for themselves. Accomplished teachers command specialized knowledge of how to convey and reveal subject matter to students. They are aware of the preconceptions and background knowledge that students typically bring to each subject and draw upon pedagogical and subject matter understandings to anticipate challenges, modify their practices, and respond to students' needs. They also demonstrate a commitment towards learning about new strategies, instructional resources, and technology that can be of assistance. Their instructional repertoire and professional judgment allow them to generate multiple paths to knowledge in the subjects they teach, and they are adept at teaching students how to pose and solve their own problems so they can continue exploring and advancing their understanding. 3. Teachers are responsible for managing and monitoring student learning. Accomplished teachers view themselves as facilitators of student learning within dynamic instructional settings. They create, enrich, maintain, and alter learning environments which establish effective ways to monitor and manage those environments, and the student learning that occurs within them. They possess a comprehensive knowledge of instructional methods, know when each is appropriate, and can implement them as needed. They use instructional time constructively and efficiently, customizing physical layout, resources, and instructional methods. They enlist the knowledge and support of a wide range of stakeholders to provide their students with enrichment opportunities to learn. They understand the strengths and weaknesses of pedagogical approaches they may take, as well as the suitability of these approaches for particular students. Accomplished teachers know how to engage students in varied settings and group configurations. They create positive and safe learning environments that guide student behavior and support learning, allowing the school's goals for students to be met. They are adept at setting norms for social interaction among students and between students and teachers. They understand how to motivate students and value student engagement, supporting them as they face and learn from challenges. Accomplished teachers assess the progress of individual students as well as that of the class of the whole. They apply their knowledge of assessment to employ multiple methods for measuring student growth and understanding. They use the information they gather from monitoring student learning to inform their practice, and they provide constructive feedback to students and families. They collaborate with students through the learning process and help students engage in self-assessment. 4. Teachers think systematically about their practice and learn from experience. Accomplished teachers possess a professional obligation to become perpetual students of their craft. Committed to reflective learning, they're models of educated persons. They exemplify the virtues they seek to inspire in students: curiosity, honesty, fairness, respect for diversity, and appreciation of cultural differences, and the capacities that are prerequisites for intellectual growth. The ability to reason and take multiple perspectives, to be creative and take risks, and to adopt an experimental and problem solving orientation. Accomplished teachers draw on their knowledge of human development, subject matter, and instruction, and their understanding of their students to make principled judgments about sound practice. Their decisions are not only grounded in established theories, but also in reason born of experience. They engage in lifelong learning, which they seek to encourage in their students. Accomplished teachers seek opportunities to cultivate their learning, striving to strengthen their teaching and positively impact student learning. Teachers use feedback and research to critically examine their practice, seek to expand their repertoire, deepen their knowledge, sharpen their judgment, and adapt their teaching to new findings, ideas, and theories. 5. Teachers are members of learning communities. Accomplished teachers participate actively in their learning communities to promote progress and achievement. They contribute to the effectiveness of the school by working collaboratively with other professionals on policy decisions, curriculum development, professional learning, school instructional programs, and other functions that are fundamental to the development of highly productive learning communities. They work collaboratively and creatively with families and the community, engaging them productively in the work of the school and cultivating students' connections with the opportunities, resources, and diversity they afford. Accomplished teachers can evaluate school progress and the allocation of school resources in light of their understanding of state and local educational objectives and the knowledge of student needs. They're knowledgeable about and can advocate for specialized school and community resources that can be engaged for their students' benefit and are skilled at employing such resources as needed.